Hey guys, it's your boy M.K.S here, back with another video. So today I've been procrastinating quite a lot because I have so many ideas and I was struggling to decide which one to work on or whatnot, other than my writings and stuff like that on paper. But yeah, so I have ideas overload, but a lot of time, like on Mondays and Fridays, I like to just write whatever comes to my mind, but sometimes I struggle to make decisions of what to write. So on other days when I'm like planning what I'm going to write or do, it's kind of easier to make decisions. But anyway, so in other words, I procrastinate a lot and I'm indecisive, which I suppose goes hand in glove. But anyway, the point of this video, as I said, tried to say in the title, I know it's a quite a long title, but it's just to have a bit of fun again, talking about football. Yeah, so I thought, imagine if Arabs and other people like that with lots of money invested into Italian football and Celtic as well. So like trying to use my imagination. I haven't really planned this video out, but I have thought about it a little bit though. Like, so for those who follow football or soccer for Americans, let's say, like the Premier League, the EPL, English Premier League, they have lots of money poured into them, like from Arab countries, like Dubai or Kuwait or places like that. So I thought it'd be pretty cool, like especially because I think those countries are Mediterranean. So I think it'd be so cool if those countries invested into Serie A or Italian football, like invest in football pitches and things like like Mediterranean teams generally, but especially Italian ones, and also Celtic. I think it'd be really cool to see Celtic have loads of investment, especially because like Celtic's in Scotland, which is quite a small country, and the SPL, Scottish Premier League, is not as big as is nowhere near as big actually as the Premier League. Like top teams in the SPL are like like have the same amount of money as sort of mid-table teams in the Premier League, in the English Premier League, and also I think like by far the English Premier League is the most richest league in the world. So I think it'd be pretty cool, like as an Italian fan, if Serie A could become the richest league and bring back some of the glory days, like in the late 90s when Italian football was like probably the top league in the world and like winning so many things. I'd love to see Italian teams win more trophies internationally as well. As I know I've mentioned this quite a few times, so please forgive me for repeating myself. But yeah, so I'd love to see like people from Saudi Arabia or Kuwait or Dubai or Abu Dhabi or places like that investing in huge amounts of money into Italian football, and also like people from China and India. Like I mentioned before, I even have like this imagination of China and India could work together, and also like the Chinese and Indian government, like part of their deal would be to invest into Italian football. Not sure why they do that, but it would be interesting if they did, like using my imagination. And I know I did a video earlier about what I'd do if I had a billion pound, like, or what I'd do if I had billions of pounds. Like, I'm stuck in two minds. So I'd love to do loads of charity work for supporting. I'd love to support what I call the four, which I mentioned a few times before, and also like Ireland and Latin America. But like a large part of me would also, from a selfish point of view, love to support Italian, like financially support Italian football as well, if I could. I'd love to give like Italian clubs at least a little bit of money, and even like the lower league teams in Italy, but especially some of the top teams. Like I'd love to bring Messi to Serie A to play alongside Ronaldo, as I talked before about, and I think that would be pretty interesting, pretty cool. I think like it would be so interesting to see what they play like as under the same team. Although unfortunately they're getting a bit older for footballers, but it would have been great if they did so when they were a bit younger. But it would still be quite interesting to see them play on the same sort of team. And also, I think for most fans, it'd be quite interesting. Like a lot of people like love to see Messi play football, and a lot of people love to see Ronaldo play football. So I think Juventus could probably become one of the most popular teams in the world. I think it could be in the top 5 or top 10 if they had Messi or Ronaldo. Maybe even become, I might dream, but they might even become the most popular. But yeah, I'd love to see, like, as an Italian football fan, and because I supported them so long when I was younger, I've supported them for like Italian football for like 20 years or so. Celtic I've only supported for like about 5 to 10 years or so. But yeah, but I'd love to see. I've supported them for more than half my life. It would be great to see them get back to the top. But another video I was thinking of covering is like how it's a dilemma, to support Italian football, and like it's a bit of a bias of mine to support Italian football, because like as an anti-imperialist, it's a bit of a mixed up thing about me. I joke about being mixed race and say it's a bit of a mixed up thing because um, I'm an anti-imperialist, but I support Italian football, even though Italy is quite imperialistic. But my one concession, if you like, if that's the right word, for Italy is that I support their football. But that's about it. Like I only support Italy for football, basically. But yeah, so I'd love to see like loads of people, like Chinese, Indians, and all that sort of thing, as well as Arabs. Sorry if I'm laughing, by the way, we're going off topic, but yeah, so I thought I'd just cover this video for a bit of fun, as I say, like light-hearted. It's not really that serious, but I think it's important to have fun as well. So in a way, I think fun is the most important thing, because it makes life sort of enjoyable, or at least a little bit more enjoyable. Than if I didn't have fun, I would be really bored. So and I get bored quite easily. So I think having fun is really important. But yeah, I'd love to see Arabs investing in Italian football, and also like I'm thinking of making similar videos for like Eurasians or transcontinentals to invest in Italian football, or Asians to invest in Italian football, like lots of wealthy business owners, as I say, from China and India and places like that, and all over Asia, investing into Italian football clubs. And hopefully, I'd love to see, like, one of my main dreams would be to see Serie A compete with the Premier League. Again, I know it's only football, and it's like I still think it's quite important football, because it's like it's how you can have a lot of fun. Again, I think fun is important. It's your like leisure time. So as well as I'd love to tackle poverty and help everyone to have enough to eat and enough to drink and shelter and things like that, I still think it'd be great to see like people enjoying themselves and playing football, and from a selfish point of view, and again like nostalgia, because when Italy was like one of the top leagues, if not the top league, and the top for football, I'd love to see a return to those glory days of Serie A. And again, I'd love to see them. As part of that would be to get new owners to bring in money, and also like as well as buying new players, also to train up younger players, like through, as I say, through football stadiums, and like for younger players, buying places where they can play, like places for sport, spaces for sport and things like that, and bring in more sponsorship money and things like that. So yeah, as I say, from a selfish point of view, I'd love to see like lots of investment into Serie A, and it's not quite as selfish with Celtic, because like Celtic does do a lot of charity work, and maybe I could encourage Italian football to do more charitable work as well. But yeah, I'd love to hear what football fans think about this. I mean, Italian football is not as popular as like Premier League, unfortunately, for me. But I'd love to hear what fellow Italian fans think, or also just generally what football fans think. As I often say, hopefully the comments won't be too disparaging, but obviously freedom of speech and all that. But hopefully I'll get some good comments about. I'm sure lots of people will be excited to see Messi and Ronaldo. I saw like a video someone made about why Juventus should do everything they can to bring Messi to join Ronaldo, because of how great it would be to see those two players play alongside each other. Like imagine having, sometimes they play together, and sometimes like one could come off the bench. Like if Messi had started, then Ronaldo would come off the bench, or vice versa. And like so, opposite teams. So when you think Messi's now coming off the pitch, but then you got Ronaldo to deal with, so and he could be like fresh again. So I know these videos are kind of like more geared towards people who love football, and like people who don't love football would probably not find them that interesting. But hopefully, maybe it could get people into football as well, like watching games of like Messi and Ronaldo play football together, and hopefully people who don't even like football would get into football. But yeah, hopefully also Juventus would get, as an Italian team, I'd love to see them get as many fans, or maybe even more than Man United or teams like that. Again, I'm a bit biased because though I grew up in England, I'm an Italian football fan, because I think I'd love to see Anglo-Indians be Italian football fans, because we look Italian. And also when it comes to like Arabs and other people from the Mediterranean or the Middle East, I think the closest country that's done well football-wise to them is Italy. Like, unfortunately, none of the Arab teams have really done that well internationally in football, but Italy has the joint second most amount of World Cups as a country, and also club team-wise, it does quite well. I mean, Spanish football does quite well as well, but Anyway, I think that's enough for me. I'd love to know what you think. I'm out. Peace and love.